What's going on, YouTube? It's Tevin here today, and we are going to be talking about the next steps after you've purchased Akeem's services on Prosphacked.com. If you don't know what this program is, I'm going to give you the quick gist. For everyone that does have the program, I'm going to give the time below, jump straight to that, and it's going to tell you what your next steps are. So if you don't know, Prosphacked is a service that Akeem, who was in the Ty Lopez program at the very end in the extra videos, he's the master of botting. And he essentially brought this program together to help all social media marketing agency owners get clients, but on autopilot. So you can use this as well as doing your local client search, your email marketing, your email outreach, your door-to-door, your cold calls. And then you add this to the repertoire, and it really will help you grow your business. The first question I get all the time, is this US only? No, it's not. The founder, Akeem, lives in Russia, has 5 US clients, so that's really important. It doesn't matter where you live. Just remember, we're trying to outsource all the work so you can get clients from all over the world and still travel or still live in your home city. But that's the name of the game. Outsource the work, get more clients, get paid more. So yes, does it work? There are tons of testimonials. I'll make sure to leave this in the description below so you can take a peek. If you do get interested, you can always find me on Facebook, and I'll answer all the questions you possibly have. For now, guys, we're going to jump into the next step after you do purchase this program. So let's get into it. All right, guys. So the first thing you're going to see after you purchase Akeem services is you're going to find this document in your message box on Facebook. After you picked your state, we're going to send you whatever Excel file that you're looking for. So pick the state either you live in, or if you don't live in the US. A lot of people have been focusing on Florida, California, New York. New York has a very high revenue rate. California there's just an unbelievable amount of businesses. Florida is an untouched zone. I've only seen a couple people go there. And so those are just the gists, but there's 50 different states, 48 mainland states, which you can choose from. But this is going to be your next step, because the process that you're going to need to do is you're going to have to take these hundreds and hundreds of thousands of businesses in this Excel sheet and break it down to maybe your niche or a couple different niches. So we can send these off to a program that verifies all the emails for the business owners to make sure that we're not going to get any bounces, to make sure that we're going to be contacting the right people, because we want this process to be as clean as possible, which is why you bought our service in the first place. So we're in the Excel file, and there's just so much information going on. And one of the first things I do to start this off is click in the top left-hand corner where there's a little arrow. You're going to go up and you're going to hit sort and filter. You're going to hit filter, and that adds all these little arrows underneath the A, B, C, D columns there. That way we can go through and filter out the things that we don't need. First off, I'd like to get rid of some columns and filter some columns, which makes it a lot easier for us. So expanding these columns are going to make it a little bit easier for you to read. So I go through and expand them. So as you can see, expanding is pretty easy. And now we're going to jump into deleting some columns and the ones that we don't necessarily need. So on the email here, that's not one of the things that we're going to need on our template. The template consists of company name, first name, last name, and company website. So if it's not any of those, I try to get rid of them. You do really want to keep the description, because that is what tells us what the business is. So I drop off email, get rid of it. It's just cluttering some perfectly good space on your screen. You don't need SIC code. The NAICS code you don't need. You're going to keep company name, contact, first, last. Title is okay to have. We can sort through that later if need be. The address is not something that's needed. Neither is the city, state, zip, phone, or fax. Why this is not needed is city. You're going to be targeting, and you can go the route of just focusing on maybe your hometown or your city. I personally wouldn't do that, as you want a broader search term so you can get all the businesses within the state. So that is something that I like to get rid of. The state is California, so no need for that. Zip, phone number, fax. People don't even use faxes anymore. So I highlight those and delete. They don't need to be here. Next, we have company website. Now, this is very important. We need to keep that there. Revenue, employees, industry, and description are all very important to us when we're filtering down the business. So we're going to keep those. But we can keep moving over right. You don't need the county, so I will get rid of that. Now, this doesn't get rid of any of your personal prospects. This just makes it a lot easier to read. So now we're left with the basics. So now we've got the description of the business. There's two of them. There's one here, and there's one on the far side. Oh, you can also get rid of address here. I think I missed that. There we go. There we go. So like I was saying, there's a description here on the A column, which is going to be different after you deleted everything. And down here, this description. I use both of those back and forth to sort because one has some things and one doesn't. So I'll show you in a second why I don't change those to filter out blanks. But we can come over here, company name, since it's super important, it needs to be on our list. You're going to click the down arrow. You're going to scroll down to the very bottom. It's going to have a blanks button, uncheck it, and press OK. So right now we started at about 1 million records, and that we just lost 50,000 by filtering out the blanks there. The next what we're going to do is go to first name, and you're going to filter out all blanks there, and last name, do the same thing. After that's done, as you can see, we lost about 500,000 from that one. Next, you're going to move over to company website. You're going to scroll down to the bottom, do the same thing, get rid of the blanks. Now we're left with 90,000 businesses. Now the next things is to break down what we want to focus on. So there's tons of different variations of ways that you can go about doing this. Since we've got this all broken down, I like to go next step into revenue, employees. Either one of those two is good to sort through. For revenue, you're going to want to go to number filters, and you can do either greater than or equal to, less than a certain amount. So if the business doesn't make $5 million a month, then do you want to work with them? That's totally up to you. But what I do is I set between, and I go with an average of 1,750,000 up to 5 million. That's going to filter out quite a bit. So that puts me at 16,756 records. Now for employees, if it generally has 1 or 2 employees, that's kind of odd. So what I do is I go through number filters, between. I choose maybe, you can switch it up, but you can go 2 to 10, or like for this one I'll do 4 to 45. So that brings us down to 7,464. Now I want you to know there's tons of different ways of sourcing this, as you can go through revenue and you can change it just from 1 million to 10 million or 500,000 to 20 million. You don't have to stay within these constraints, but it's very handy to have. And now the next step we're going to do from this is you're going to click the top left-hand corner arrow, so that highlights everything. You're going to go over to data, and you're going to hit remove duplicates. Press OK. This is going to take a couple seconds because it's going to sort from the very beginning of the million records that we have. But this is really good because we don't want the duplicates to be showing up in our final form when we're copying and pasting over to our other document. It gets to be a big pain in the ass when you think you've got 1,000, but realistically you remove all duplicates and now you're down to 400 or 800 depending. Sometimes it does that not responding thing. I am running a pretty good computer at the moment because I am running recording software as well as this Excel sheet. And this Excel sheet does take up a lot of RAM because there's so much information going on with it. After this is done, we're going to be looking at the company website. As we can see from the top, there's a lot of things that maybe we don't necessarily need. So we want to keep that in mind when we get closer to the end, when we're filtering over and we're bringing things to our template file that we're going to be sending to Akeem. So company website, Baskin Robbins is a big chain, so you really don't want to target them. I personally went with a wide variety of different niches, as I think that is our best bet when we're running this automation program. But me I didn't go after a certain niche when I first started. I just went with a wide variety of different people. So this could be different for everyone else. It's just going to be done here in a second, and we will continue sorting through. This will take a couple minutes for you guys as well. After this step is complete, so yeah, it removed 30,000 duplicates, which is quite a bit. So hopefully we won't have to sort through as much when we get done. The next step I do is make sure everything is highlighted, and you're going to go to Home, Sort and Filter, Sort A to Z. Now give that a second, and now we can see exactly who we're going to be targeting. And so what I do from here, which it gets actually pretty easy, is we can see exactly who they are, how many employees they have, are they accountants, what do they do, payroll services, other accounting services. And I normally try and follow just on this left-hand column here where the description is, as I know it's accounting, auditing, and bookkeeping services. So as we scroll through here, with our 7,457 records left, we're going to see a wide variety of different people. And so what I did was I went through and I would select maybe all the auto and home supply stores, and I'd bring them over, and then I'd source through them and make sure that there was no big chains. And I'd go through that each and every single different thing. So automobile parking, maybe that's not what I want to go for, so I'll move on. But automotive services, except repair and car washes, that's kind of a good one to have. Jiffy Lube I'd get rid of. Let's see who else is here. That's the only one you'd have to get rid of because they're a big chain. And as you can see, it's a lot easier to go through this now, as you can break down every single category and what each thing is. So if you're looking to search, we can scroll up to the top here. You're going to hit on the down arrow, and now we can search, say, cosmetic. There's a word for it, offices. Now that's going to be good for a lot of people because I couldn't figure that out for a while. But if you want to find any chiropractors, dentists, doctors of medicines, health practitioners, or optometrists, you're going to want to type offices first. So then you can press OK, and it'll sort those out for you. And so now I've got 208. So I can just I personally copied and dropped that, and I went through and I see if there was any big chains. You should probably know just off the top of your head. If you recognize the name, it's probably a chain. If you live like in England or whatnot, or if you have any questions, you can always feel free to contact us and we can sort that out for you. But as you can see, you've got tons and tons of different choices for offices and clinics of doctors of medicine. And we can scroll down a little bit further here, and you can see it changes to dentists, doctors of medicine. And then we also have chiropractors there. And there's a couple other services that you can choose from when you're looking at offices and clinics. And that's going to be one of your search terms. And now to get rid of that, you're going to scroll to the top. You're going to click on the search term again and click select all and press OK. Sometimes you need to go through and turn off blank again. So turn that off, and then it gets rid of some of the records for us. And that's essentially how you're going to go through and filter your Excel sheet to send off to Akeem. Now, if you guys have any questions, I know this can get pretty annoying. It took me about 4 to 5 hours to completely filter and go through and re-go through and then re-go through again to finally get exactly what I wanted. And that can be a real pain in the ass. So if you do have any questions, feel free to contact us and we can answer any of the questions that you possibly have. One of the things we do have, one of the other things I didn't talk about is going and sorting through partners. You can sort through partners to get rid of managers, so you're not contacting them, but I personally didn't, but you can if you'd like to, as it's not a necessary contact information, because when we do the verification emails, we're going to get a fresh email from this other service. So if that makes sense, we have the company name, first name and last name, and company website. We're probably going to be getting a different email address than the ones that were on this list anyways. And so I wouldn't really worry about filtering who the partner is. But anyways, guys, that breaks down exactly what you need to do when filtering and going through Akeem's Excel sheets. And I know it can get a pain in the ass, so I hope this video is very helpful. make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. I love to hear from you. I'm going to drop all of my contact information in the description below. So my Facebook, my Instagram, my website for my own social media agency, and any other possible links. I'm also going to leave in the description a link to a Google Drive, and it's going to contain all the things that I use to build audits or to email templates or the services I use to write contracts, the video editing software that I use. You name it, it's all in there. Check it out. If you guys have any questions, again, don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks again for watching. Have a good night.